What's the greatest lesson that he taught you?
Um, I'm gonna break that down if you'll allow me to. I'm gonna break it down into fundamentally three things. And I talked a little bit about this at the funeral, and I talk about it a little bit more. And I think I'm probably going to get more vocal about it because in the last 11 months, it has changed the way that I live my life. Um, and Henry, you know, just to talk about him for a moment so people understand, he's kind of one of those remarkable kids that you look at sideways and you just, he had this joie de vivre, this joy of life that you wanted to be around. There was this infectious enthusiasm, and he always wanted to be able to try something new. So, he was a pilot, he was a scuba diver, he fixed motorcycles. He had his motorcycle license when he was 18 years old. He was flying planes at 16. He was one of those persons that just wanted to try everything and then bring everybody along with him. But there were three things that I think kind of defined his life that really gave me the greatest lesson in retrospect that I didn't realize until he was gone. And then in the analysis of it, I looked at it and then I said to myself, you know what? He had such a good life up until he was 18 that if I adopt these things, then I might have a good life until I'm 80. Okay. And the first one is the way that he treated people was just remarkable, just remarkable. My mother anecdotally told me, she said, I've never had more people come up to me at a funeral and say that Henry was my best friend. Right. The question ended up being, well, how could he, we know that Cam and Peyton and Wyatt were kind of like and Sam were like his tight group of friends, but how can this person that we've never seen or talked to before believe that Henry was their best friend? And it was the way that he treated everyone and made every person that was in front of him feel as if they were the most important person in the world. And they felt listened to and they felt communicated with. Mm. And so, the three parts of the greatest lesson I learned from that was, the person who is in front of you being the most important person in the world. Emerson said it this way. He said, every person is in some way my superior. And in that I learn of him. And Henry was very much that way. And so I do believe that treating people even better than they deserve, no matter the stupid stuff that they post on Facebook or whatever else it is, right, that they just kind of burp out there, it's still treating people like you're really important. The second part that really changed me, Henry had this unbelievable ability to look at his fear and just swallow it. It was remarkable to me. It would be, he would do things that, you kind of, you look at it and you go, that's a lot of risk. But curiously, and it's funny, it goes with M&A too, right? What was interesting about it is that Henry did not live a fearless life. Henry looked at his fear and said, how do I leverage this into an experience and into safety? And his friends would tell me that he would take these risks, but he would actually process and think through them and talk through it and then achieve the thing that he did. Now, sadly, the last thing he ever risked did not work out well for him. But the thing that it's done for me, this weekend, I'm going to be doing a 100-mile bike ride down to Heatsville. And, I'm not sure I would have done that a year ago. And I looked at that and I said, well, here's my fear. And then I'm like, okay, well, what do I do if the bike breaks? What if I do if I can't make it physically? What do I do if I, and then I started planning out all of these contingency plans to it, just like Henry would do. And I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So it was about taking that fear, swallowing it, digesting it, and then kind of doing the thing anyway. And that's that whole idea about living like Henry is about live your boldest life, live your most confident life. Don't waste it. And then the last thing that of the big lesson that he really taught me was go see the world, go experience the world, just go and do it. Don't say, nah, whatever. And it was because he was so excited to go to Europe and to go to Asia and to go to college and all these other places. And he was always the first one being like, yeah, let's go. You know, he did a hiking trip throughout Canada and one down through New Mexico. And he would come back and he was like, and this is what I saw. And that was what I saw. And it kind of goes to that Goodwill Hunting thing of, you can tell me all these things that you read in books, but what does it smell like in the Sistine Chapel? And so the third part of that is go experience the world, go adventure into the world, you know? And since then, even with my sons, I'm sending one of my sons over to England. My other son is heading over to Korea. And then together we're going to go skiing in Montana over Christmas. And it's just, you know, a year and a half ago, I would have been like, well, you know, this whole thing. And now I'm like, go do it. And part of being a good, in my opinion, part of being a leading parent, and or I should say a parent that leads, is teaching your kids to be kind, to be confident, to be adventurous, and then to allow them to make those choices for themselves. And so that's what I learned from Henry. And while I am sad that he has died, I am not sad about the way that he lived.
Yeah, man, you got me, man. That was great. Thank you so much, Patrick. You know, I couldn't have gone out on a better note. I didn't expect that as your answer, and very, very powerful stuff. You know, at a time when people are quarantining and staying in and saying no, it's live like Henry and say, you know, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm not going to lick a handrail on the way there, but I'm going to probably, I'm going to be careful. I don't want to hurt anybody along the way, but I'm not going to stay home and be fearful of it. I'm going to calculate the risks. I may even wear a mask, maybe to protect somebody else, but I can't follow that up. That was too great. So thank you so much. I appreciate it dearly. I know everybody that's watching is going to get a lot out of that, especially that last piece. Hope you have a great day, and we'll connect soon, okay?
Thank you very much, Randy. I enjoyed talking with you this morning.
It was great. Have a good day.
You bet.
All right, bye now.